Okay, so a little while back, I made a video for TikTok on censorship, and I also posted it on YouTube. So you guys, some of you, might have seen it. But I want to touch more on this censorship thing because it's actually becoming a lot more serious than I thought it would become at this time. You know, history repeats itself because we don't quite learn from it. You know, what's interesting is there's all these different things, you know, pertaining to slavery that we're constantly told. We're constantly being told, like, we constantly see them make movies about slavery and things that happen between blacks and whites in America. And they keep putting this stuff before the people. What's really fascinating is before the whole BLM thing happened, I noticed that there was a surge in movies about slavery and how black people were treated. Now, obviously, these movies raised awareness, but then I thought, you know what? Could it be that they were showing us these movies to prepare us to hate one another? Honestly. Am I saying there's anything wrong with making these movies? No. But those movies were in such quick succession and then followed BLM. And so I see that there's definitely a paying attention to history that takes place in America, but it's only to the history that they want us to remember so that they can control us. But when it comes to most of the other parts of history that actually apply to where we are right now in the world, nope, there's not a whole lot of stuff on that. You don't see a whole lot of stuff on the Jesuits in movies. You know, tell us about this formation of the Jesuits and what the Jesuits really represent. You don't see a lot of stuff like that in movies. You know, they don't talk about Protestantism much in movies. Show us why the Protestant Reformation happened. I'm convinced that the greatest protest in history was the Protestant Reformation. Without that Reformation, there would be no America. But they don't talk about this stuff much because they want us to forget these things because these things get in the way of where everything is heading. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9 says, "What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun." One time I was talking to this guy. This is hilarious. I actually wish I had one of these books, but this guy has this ministry where he hands out these books, and I think he's the one who printed these books. On the front of the book, it's like one of those novel-sized books. On the front of the book, there's this guy on a horse, and the horse is standing on its 2 feet. On 2 of its feet, while it's just like, it's doing that thing that horses do. I don't know what that's called. I'm not a horse guy. So the guy is on the horse while it's standing up, kind of like Zorro. And the book is called What We Learned from History. And so I said, oh, wow, let me see that book. And I opened the book and there was nothing in there, dude, just blank pages. I'm talking like 200 blank pages, no words. Because we learned nothing from history. Man, what a powerful book. I think that's one of the most powerful books I've ever read. Like, it is so accurate. We see these things happen look at the French Revolution, the Reign of Terror. They literally got to a point in France because they were looking at the papacy. The papacy doesn't represent what's actually in the Bible, but they were looking at what the papacy was doing and they said, well, if this is what the Bible is about, we don't want the papacy or the Bible. And they literally got rid of both, the Pope and the Bible. This resulted in a period so devastating in France's history. It was part of the French Revolution. It was called the Reign of Terror. When they got rid of the Bible completely, things got so bad in France. They were killing each other, all sorts of crazy stuff. The nations know this period to be a clear example of why you don't want to remove the Bible completely from your society. But that's what they did in France, and a period so horrible broke out in France. It was called the Reign of Terror. It is known as the Reign of Terror. And I guarantee you, a lot of people who took history class never heard of the Reign of Terror because they don't want us to know about these things because somehow it seems as if they want to repeat this history. Guys, there seems to be a clear agenda to keep actually important parts of history from us while exposing us to things that they see fit for their own agenda and for their own purposes. Now, with this censorship thing that's happening right now, it started with Alex Jones. Maybe it was happening before him, but I think the major player, I think he was the first when it comes to the social media banning. They looked for the worst possible individual that they could find, and then they banned him. A lot of conservatives and Democrats were on board with this thing. I saw it and I said, okay, this is the beginning. And that year, they actually ended up banning more people from Twitter, from Facebook, from YouTube. And I thought, man, this is not good, man. The fact is, people should really be allowed to say whatever they want to say. That's what free speech is. Now, saying things might come with a consequence, but ousting people and censoring people, man, I don't think that is the solution to this problem, just because of what history has taught us. So now we're at this time period right now in history where we see more and more banning and censorship taking place. Man, honestly, this stuff is happening so fast. I promise you, I was not expecting it to go this quickly. I thought we had certainly a lot more years before we saw it get to the point where it is right now, where there's a group of powerful people who are teaming up against a majority of people. And guys, I don't want you to think that this is some sort of conservative rhetoric. No, that's not what this is. It's just that I know what's in the book of Revelation, and this is a direct fulfillment of prophecy that is happening right now. Now, look, of course, these social media platforms and all these guys, they have the right to do whatever they want with their material and their businesses. You can ban whoever you want. But the problem is that this thing sets a precedence that, according to history, it just won't end well. It just won't. During the Dark Ages, they censored the Christians, right? They didn't want the Christians to be preaching what they were preaching. So they told them, you can't preach here, you can't preach there, you can't do this, you can't do that. Pretty soon they started to attack the Christians verbally and physically. And when the Christians kept doing it, they said, okay, we're going to have to kill these people. And it got to the point where they started to kill these individuals. That's censorship. That's censorship. You're banned from this location. You're banned from that location. You're banned from this location. Oh, that doesn't work? Us attacking you physically doesn't work? We're going to end your life. Guys, censorship, the end result of censorship is persecution to the point of death. That's what censorship is. We don't like your ideas. We so much don't like your ideas, we're going to banish you from our platform. Oh, wow, you still have a voice after you've been banished from our platform? Well, we're going to banish you from the internet completely, because that's coming. You better believe the police of the internet is coming, if it isn't already here in America in some way, shape, or form. There's going to be banning from websites, I promise you. You won't even be allowed to have space online. And then when that doesn't work, they are going to physically come after you. And it will wind up with Revelation 13. Watch this. Revelation 13, 16 through 18. Also, it causes all, talking about the power that would lead people to worship the Antichrist power. Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. That is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. This text tells us about a time when there will be a mass censorship that would happen toward the end of the earth's history, where those who don't go along with the status quo will be prevented from being able to buy or sell. You guys are like, that's not censorship. No, it's exactly censorship. It's exactly censorship. Oh, we don't agree with what you're saying. We're going to kick you off YouTube. We're going to kick you off Facebook. We're going to kick you off PayPal and Stripe, all these different platforms. Well, we don't agree with what you're saying. We're going to prevent you from being able to buy or sell. we don't agree with what you're doing, we're going to prevent you from being able to buy or sell. That is directly attacking your survival. Because how can you survive in this earth without the ability to buy or sell? In order to get products to live off of, in order to get electricity, you got to be able to spend money to purchase electricity. You got to purchase gas. You got to purchase food. You got to purchase your ability to use water. You got to purchase gas to drive. You have to be able to pay your monthly insurance. By preventing us from being able to buy or sell, that completely cuts off all the lifelines we need here on earth in order to survive. Guys, things are moving so quickly in this direction. I'm not talking about this to scare you. You know, I only have about 300 and something followers on YouTube. And, you know, hopefully that continues to grow. You should subscribe now and like this video and all that stuff. But the reason I'm doing this, because I don't know how long I will, you know, be able to keep doing this in light of my life. You know, I'm about to get married. I'll have to work really hard in order to make a living and all this different stuff. So I'm hoping I keep finding the time in order to do these videos. But I'm recording this in hope that, you know, as things come to an end, and they are coming to an end, that people will see videos like this one and the many others that are out there on YouTube and be led to see that, look, dude, the Bible is true. Prophecy is coming to pass, man. It is so hard to deny the credibility and the authenticity of the Bible when you see how accurately prophecies like the one right here is coming to pass in Revelation. Guys, whether you're Democrat or Republican, man, this has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with just understand, be careful what you're supporting. Look, man, learn from history, read your history books, read the Bible. Ask God to help you to understand prophecy, because this stuff is being fulfilled to the T, man. To the T. And it is going so quickly. I'm not telling you this to scare you. If I know this stuff and I choose not to share it with you, wouldn't that be criminal? If I know how the world will end because the Bible tells me so, how it will end. If I know how the world will end and I don't tell it to you, if I know that Jesus is coming back to take those who follow him by faith and are righteous and are just, if I know Jesus is coming back for those people and I don't tell you, wouldn't I be a criminal for knowing such potent information, such crucial, critical information, and not sharing it? So that's why I'm doing this, guys. It's not to make you afraid or fear-mongering. It's just a reminder that we need to pay attention to history, that prophecy in the Bible really does matter. It is coming to pass. And we need to be ready, man. Because and we need to be on the sure foundation, which is Jesus Christ. We need to have a relationship with Jesus. Because without that relationship, we can't stand. He said, and I started these videos on YouTube by saying this, Jesus says, if anyone hears these words of mine and does them, he is the one who is building on the rock. By practicing what is inside the Bible, we learn to trust God. It strengthens our relationship with God. And so when the world is falling apart even more than it is right now, we'll be able to stand on the solid foundation of our relationship with Jesus. Guys, that's it, man. Pay attention to the signs of the times. Stand against this tide of things where everything is pushing, and be ready. That's it, man. We are quickly approaching the end. God bless. Peace.